In 19th century Paris, opium served not just as a recreational indulgence, but also as a tool for mental exploration among many artists. Whether consumed as laudanum or smoked in a pipe, opium provided an escape from mundane reality and a gateway to the esoteric and mystical realms. But what drew symbolist artists to this substance, and how did it shape their creative expression? It is within this context that one of the most enigmatic artworks of all time emerged, which we will delve into today, the Apparition by Gustave Moreau. This masterpiece, whose complete meaning remains elusive to this day, reveals a universe of hidden symbols and significances. What messages was Moreau attempting to convey through this intriguing painting? Why does this woman point to a decapitated head while floating in the midst of a room? I'll strive to address these and many other questions throughout this video. Stay tuned until the end to uncover how a seemingly straightforward painting can encompass such profound, hidden meanings. Let's get started. Laudanum, a mixture of opium and alcohol, and opium smoked in pipes, were common forms of consumption in late 19th and early 20th century Paris. Paris, known as the opium capital at that time, hosted numerous opium dens and artistic circles where this substance was widely consumed. The effects of opium included intense relaxation, euphoria, and hallucinatory visions, making it a valuable tool for artists seeking to transcend the boundaries of everyday reality. One of the most notable advocates of opium use was Théophile Gautier. In his work, The Club of the Hashish Eaters, Gautier narrates his experiences with various psychoactive substances, including opium. He describes how opium consumption opened doors to new realities and states of consciousness, allowing him to access visions and sensations beyond the reach of the sober mind. Gautier speaks of a world of intensified dreams, where images and sounds gained new depth and meaning, directly influencing the artistic and literary perception of his time. Odilon Redon, another notable symbolist, was also influenced by opium. His works often reflect a world of dreams and nightmares, where reality distorts and blends with fantasy. Redon used iconography to explore the psyche and the mysteries of the human mind, creating images that were both disturbing and fascinating. His lithographs and paintings reflect a complex and often unsettling inner world, influenced by his experiences with opium and other spiritual practices. Gustave Moreau, though he left no detailed records of his opium use, was known to be immersed in this cultural environment. Moreau was distinguished by his deep exploration of psychological and mystical themes in his work. His inclination to represent inner visions and complex symbolism can be understood as part of this symbolic and spiritual quest. One recurring theme in Moreau's work is the exploration of the psyche and altered states of consciousness. The Apparition, one of his most famous works, is a clear example of this inclination. In this painting, Moreau depicts Salome in an almost trance-like state, pointing to the decapitated head of John the Baptist that floats as a ghostly vision. This scene is not only a testament to Moreau's technical mastery, but also a window into his obsession with subconscious and supernatural themes. Moreau worked on this piece for several years, creating multiple versions and studies before completing the painting we know today. This meticulous process reflects his attempt to capture a complex inner vision, combining elements from different cultures and eras to create a richly symbolic image. In this work, Moreau focused on depicting women as bearers of evil, using the biblical story of Salome. The New Testament describes what happened at the birthday party of Herod Antipas, the ruler of Perea and Galilee, since 4 BC. At the party, Salome, the daughter of Herodias, dances for the guests. Her dance is so successful that Herod offers to grant her any wish, even part of his kingdom if she wanted. But following her mother's advice, Salome asks the ruler for the head of John the Baptist, who had been imprisoned for speaking ill of her. Finally, although Herod was not very comfortable with the situation, her wish was granted, and Salome received the head of John the Baptist on a platter. During the Middle Ages, Salome became the model of the wicked woman, symbolizing lust and vice. fulfilling the archetype of the femme fatale. In the Apparition, Salome becomes a symbol of sensuality, like a goddess of eternal madness. Moreau himself says that Salome represents an eternal woman who warns of a terrible future for those who place their values and ideals below sensuality and indiscretion. Thus, in this painting, the theme has a moral significance. Moreau did not only show the evil of the woman or the head of John the Baptist, as many artists did who wanted to highlight the sacrifice and sanctity of John the Baptist over the symbolism that Salome represents. Now that you know the context of this painting and the theme the artist wanted to address, you might be wondering why this painting is so different from the others I have presented throughout this video. The story says that the head of John the Baptist was presented on a platter, and many other artists have depicted it this way. So why did this artist choose to represent it as a floating head? What does this mean? Before answering this question, I want to remind you that you can find this painting on our website. My mission with this project is to share art stories to prevent them from being forgotten over time, and to allow all of you to fall in love with a piece of art and have it in your home for life. In the catalogue, you will find more than 300 paintings that I have personally selected. You can buy your favorite painting as a fine art print, a canvas, or even a phone case. Shipping is completely free worldwide, and I can assure you that the quality is the best on the market. As an art enthusiast, I have personally ensured that you receive a piece as true to the original work as possible. Thanks to everyone who has made purchases in recent days, your names will appear on the screen because it is thanks to you that making videos like this is possible. You will find a link to the store in the description of this video. Let's continue. Gustave Moreau uses a technique that represents architectures as if they were engravings, overlaying them with decorative elements from numerous religions and cultures: Buddhist, Phoenician, Romanesque, Byzantine, etc., creating a very eclectic and decorative appearance that makes this work unique. Some authors believe that the decoration of the space simulating Herod's palace was inspired by the decoration of the Alhambra in Granada. Moreau addresses the scene of the Baptist's execution in 3 compositions, which, when viewed together, can be understood as the succession of different phases of the event. In this context, the work The Apparition comprises the second phase of the narrative. In this version, the cadaverous King Herod sits on his throne, supervising the scene from the left edge. Herodias is presumably at his feet, and a musician for Salome's dance is shown further back. On the right edge is the executioner, with John's blood still on his sword. In the foreground, we see Salome finishing her dance, almost naked, with her arms extended, pointing towards the haloed head of St. John the Baptist as if it were a hallucination. Her body is adorned with an abundance of strategically placed jewels and ornaments. The floor is not only covered with flowers, but also stained with the blood dripping from the decapitated head. At the center of the composition is the confrontation between Salome and John's head. It may even be the head of Christ himself, as the execution of St. John is understood as a prelude to Christ's crucifixion. This later oil version better presents the scene, although the panther has been moved to replace the musician and the background is quite different. Years before creating this painting, Moreau had already painted Salome. Although both scenes take place in the same location, there are certain differences, such as the position of Herod's throne, and of course, here Salome has not yet claimed John's head as the reward for her successful dance. Salome dancing before Herod is one of the most iconographically rich paintings ever made, and it is not surprising that some critics found it phantasmagoric. One of the aspects that makes this painting so intriguing is its ambiguity. It is unclear which moment of the biblical scene is represented. Is it Salome's vision at the end of her dance, showing how she will look when John's head is presented to her? Or is John already decapitated, and the painting reflects her feeling of remorse for her cruel request? Who is having this vision, only Salome, or do the others present share the same vision? It has even been said that the scene does not reflect any specific verse from the biblical stories, arguing that the painting is the result of Moreau's hallucinations from frequent opium use. This has not been proven, though this accusation has persisted for years. In any case, Moreau presented his own interpretation of this story, and his style has inspired many other artists. I would love to know your opinion. Do you think opium use could have affected his vision of this scene? Or did he simply want to represent it differently from how other artists had done it before? I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. As always, leave a like if you found this video interesting, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Remember to visit inspiraggio.com to buy your favorite painting, and follow me on my social media where you'll find more art related content. The links will be in the description. See you in the next video. Bye.